The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Join Karis Copeland and Shar Selassie at the Art of Diplomacy for an exclusive workshop on mastering negotiation and advocacy. Learn proven strategies to advocate for yourself at home, work, and even in international affairs because your voice matters. Don't miss out. Reserve your spot now and start negotiating your way to success.
All right. Shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you are a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. Before I get started, I need to get some admin notes. Cash App is playing games with my account as of yesterday. Cash App is playing games, so I'm going into there to get that figured on out. I put a post in the community post of where you could give to that would directly support. When you do through YouTube, YouTube is convenient, but I only get about maybe 40 to 50% of the funds. So it's a hit. But understand, and I understand why this hit is here, because we're here. So I'm not gonna be complaining or being the woe is me. We're here. We're here. We have an interesting announcement at the end of the day by 2 p.m., 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be Jerome Powell. And that announcement with the Federal Reserve, potentially speaking, be prepared to get cash, to have some cash, because there could potentially be a run on the banks with the announcement. And nobody wants to tell you about the run on the banks because why? They don't want to let you know. They want to be at the banks first while you all have the issues. Just saying. So, yes, family, I definitely appreciate it. You can give via Super Chat, Super Sticker. Um, Cash App has now limited me. I don't know the impact, but for the most part, I've been restricted from Cash App. And these restrictions are coming. They're here because look, what's the easiest way to get rid of a of a black channel or a Hebrew channel? Well, take away the financial support. Bam. Easy. And understand, it's not that the FBI or the other three-letter agencies are going to be showing up at my door. No, I understand how to message different things. But in order for me to go away, right, the enemy is going to mess with finances. That's just how it goes. So I'll put this on in here for the Zelle that you could send. And, definitely appreciate your all support because honestly, that is um how things are moving nowadays. So the theme has been look, no job, no money, no problem. It's just time for war. And I pray that we all understand that this is a situation that we're facing. Brother Mike and I had discussed this the last 10, 15 minutes. I was literally on the phone with them about 4 or 5 minutes ago. And I said, look, we're going to discuss these things um, on the channel because yesterday, as I was wrapping up, there were things that had occurred that was still going on. This story was still developing. And again, I'm going to put this in the chat. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I got to grow the channel, family. I got to grow. Bigger, bigger. So, yeah, thank you all for your support. But here we go. Let me get some analysis on this. Let me go to this story right here because I said, look, the explosive consequences. Here we go. Here we go. So stories. If you don't know who I am a retired military intelligence officer. You can read all about it in the Quest to Unite Africa book. I have been to the Middle East dozens of times. I have been able to see a lot of the tactics, techniques, and procedures. Some of whom these things I'm still not allowed to talk about to this day. So I have to be very, very non-attributable, non-attributable with how I say things, where I say things, things of that nature. And you can see all about that. You can read all about that in my book, Quest to Unite Africa. Excuse me, The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS. So, as I had uh, completed my last months of active duty during the pandemic, and it was interesting how the Most High did not have me continue. It would have, I could have stayed on. I was talking the other day um, to the board at Quest to Unite Africa, and I said, you know what? I could have retired, had an active duty retirement, and I would have been able to retire right now, today. I would have been done. But I understood why the Most High had to move me from off of that safety net. It is. So that's why I said, look, please pray for our brothers and sisters in the military because understand a lot of our brothers and sisters are awakened. A lot of them know who they are, but a lot of them understand, look, they are stuck. And I don't know the plans of the Most High, but I do say that the Most High has them there for whatever particular purpose, for whatever particular reason, and that for those that trust in Him and that call on Him, He's going to save them and deliver them. That happened with me. Yes, I was in the fire, and He delivered me on those years of active duty, being awakened. I didn't immediately start this channel. I started this channel a couple of months in earnest. It was a couple months after I had been released from active duty. And, what I was looking at in this channel was really trying to provide context with our Hebrew brothers and sisters of what we are and what we do in the kingdom. Because at that time, 4 years ago, there is a difference. There was a lot of hate, a lot of animosity in our people, a lot of anger and frustration in our people. Yes, there had been. And I've seen over the period of these 4 years that tempers had kind of cooled a little bit because people started to understand that in order for an oppressed people to be oppressed, there has to be a people that have been lied to and deceived. And so when you read Jeremiah 16 and 19, when you read Isaiah chapter 60, when you read that there are different things that the Gentiles are able to do, what their expectations are. Now, I don't know about the one video that has been circulating with the one Gentile man that said that he won't have to do this or won't have to do that. I don't know. But he's saying that right now because let me tell you this. Ain't no pagers blowing up or cell phones blowing up his pocket. And I'm going to have to be very, very mindful of when I say, man, who is blowing me up on this cell phone? Because let me get into this article and take away this Zell. Hallelujah. Live updates: death toll in Lebanon from the exploding pager attack on Hezbollah climbs to 12. I don't want. I want us to understand this from AP News. These are probably more than likely understand what they're going to try and say in this article because I like to actually break down the article so you can all you know have a proper analysis. More than likely, they're getting the reports of those that are Hezbollah linked that have died from this direct terrorist attack. Let's just label it what it is. It is actually a terrorist attack. It is an indiscriminate targeting that created mass terror and mass casualties for a political purpose. This was it. And I want to give the full breakdown so you understand it. I'm going to ask you again for your support because a lot of this stuff is going to be very sensitive and potentially this is the danger zone of YouTube shutting down my channel. Because you have to understand this is a road to war, pre war scenario that I had talked about a little while ago. These are the road to war scenarios. How did we get here? Well, you didn't get here just in a box. You got there because you went on a path and we followed a path, and the path of escalation went from here, here, and here. It started in here. It was in Ukraine. Then it went down to the Middle East. It was there in Yemen, and then it's there in Hezbollah. Middle the Eastern Mediterranean nation. All the other stuff. It's Associated Press. Taiwanese company Gold Apollo said on Wednesday it authorized brand on the pagers that exploded in Lebanon, Syria, but that another company manufactured them. So now they're trying to reflect and deflect. Taiwanese company Gold Apollo said that it authorized its brand on the pagers that exploded in Lebanon and Syria in an apparent Israeli operation targeting Hezbollah communications network. But that another company based in Budapest in Turkey manufactured them. The pagers exploded nearly simultaneously Tuesday in both countries. And both countries, this is Lebanon and Syria, killing at least 12 people and wounding nearly 3,000. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government blamed Israel for what appeared to be a sophisticated remote attack. Brother Mike, before I go on in there, what say you, Brother Mike?
This is troubling. I mean, now I'm up here thinking, you call me crazy. I'm up here thinking now you need to get you some armored underwears now because everybody keep their cell phone in their pocket. I mean,
So this is gonna be Covenant Awakens prepper. We're gonna have Mylar bags and ballistic proof long johns.
yeah.
I'm
Dude, this
not gonna
stuff.
lie, family. I'm about to be a ballistic proof long john drop shipper. Look. I'm about to offer ballistic proof selfie sticks of at least 8 feet away, so you can be fast. So you don't have to be in that blast radius, and you can still connect.
You're joking. I
Go
tell you, man.
go out and say Kevlar briefs. Oh my! Oh my!
Now they about to go in now. They're about to go in on it. uh, wow. I mean, but this they took it to another level. Like I'm saying, they just keep on poking the bear, keep poking that bear, and whoo, that's something else, there, bro.
So let
Now,
me
was these pagers or
yeah.
were
Go
these
ahead.
cell phones?
I think they may have been a bit of both.
All right, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, all right.
So I think it depended on the signal. I think it depended on a couple of other things on in there. Man, if I had, if I was hoping Red could have jumped on in here. This is a nice IT cybersecurity. This is a cybersecurity discussion. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you what happened in here. So when I was listening to our Maple Leaf brother, it's like, oh, this is the dark horse, or the 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 black swan, the false flag, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to tell you, It is. And I know that folks aren't going to get it until they hear like Scott Ritter or Colonel McGregor or some other, Caucasian person give the analysis. I get it. I know. But let me tell you what this is meaning. Okay. So now you have a whole geopolitical hodgepodge right there in front of your face within the first three paragraphs of this article. And I put that article on out there from AP News. Why is this so significant? Because it's telling you how a supply chain has been weaponized.
Mm.
What are they now saying about things going on in Taiwan? To me, I'm going to tell you this. This gives China the full, appropriate, extensive rights to go into Taiwan to prevent acts of terrorism. They just got
Now
the
that's what
excuse.
I heard.
They just got the excuse.
Mm.
They're exporting devices used for terrorist activities. Understand, this is now bigger than what just happened in Lebanon and Syria. This is bigger than what anybody could even imagine. The geopolitical ship has sunk because now understand, hey, we have to have control of this because this product is directly killing indiscriminately. And it's coming from Taiwan. And Taiwan is trying to willingly become a facilitator of state sponsored terrorism.
Wait a minute, hold on, Karis. Hold on. Wait a minute, hold on. What did Taiwan do?
They're in this supply chain effort.
Hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They just gave fuel to the Chinese fire. So, my pretext is, when do they invade? Do they invade this week or next week? Because why? Because if I was China, I'd be pretty scared about what's coming out of Taiwan. Yep. Also, we haven't even. So, Budapest is hungry.
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you, Hungary with Viktor Orban, who is very I say Russia, China friendly as an EU nation. I believe that they potentially lost a European ally. I believe that they lost the Hungarians. They
Mm,
don't play
mm,
that.
mm.
On top of that, you have Turkey just to the north of Syria. So then Turkey's probably scratching its head of, man, will that affect us? Can that mess with us? And what did Turkey say? Hey, that Eastern Mediterranean nation, may not even be around here by the end of the year. I wonder why. If you don't
mm,
think that this isn't happening throughout the world right now, throughout the halls of governments, throughout the halls of different security agencies and organizations, if you don't think that that discussion's happening, I got a Musk rocket to sell you to take you to the moon. If you don't think that that's happening, it's happening right now.
mm.
It's happening right now because guess who's stuck in the crosshairs? You guessed it, the United States. This is why, yeah, Western news outlets are cracking down on it. This channel, I don't know, but I'm gonna talk about it. That's why I say, hey, thank you for your support. Hallelujah. Can keep it moving. And now here we
Mm,
are. I can't even show you the holes that this was putting in people. You can go on X while that's still around, and you
I
can
mean,
see the
was it
damage.
that bad?
Yeah, it was
Was it
damage.
that bad? I mean, I
Folks
didn't
had
see
it
it.
in their pockets. You could tell they had it in their pockets, and it was just nothing but a bloody gap. The cell phones were turned into miniature grenades. And if you think that this doesn't and will not have a repercussion in the international community, you're smoking something. And this is right before the UN General Council. They're going to have a condemnation vote next week on this.
Mm,
They're going to have a condemnation vote next week on this. So understand, look, you had a legislative action with the ICC, ICJ, and now you're about to have a legislative, or excuse me, a judicial action, and now you're about to have a legislative action. So then, what do you think is next? Let's go up these ladders of escalation. Once you're through a judicial, a legislative, and then an executive action. What's an executive action? Combat operations. Uh-oh. World War III is literally going to be on our door.
mm,
Understand, these are the explosive consequences. They've already been labeled as a rogue nation. What they did was literally rogue. It's literally rogue. And understand. You want to know what also it did for the United States? This damaged the United States too. Oh, it damaged the United States.
mm, mm, mm.
It showed the world the capacity. Now understand, look, not the capacity, not just the capacity. Let me tell you what this also did. This also exposed some tactics and procedures. This is what that exposed. Thank you, ZK James 46 for the gift. Hallelujah. What that exposed was, look, Mike and I, we just had this discussion. I said, Mike, what's the best way for me to discuss this?
Mm, mm, mm.
And I said, let me tell my people. My people understand this. My people understand this. This is throwing the black ace of spades on your very first move in spades when you're playing spades.
And you don't have no jokers in your hand, but you
Yeah,
go play the ace of spades.
you're gonna play the ace.
Mm,
That's your very first move. You already don't had your trump card. You already done threw your trump card on in there.
mm, mm.
Now you understand how these nations are going to get riled up. And they're not going to look at that Eastern Mediterranean nation. Nope, they're going to look right here at the United States. You all did this. You all caused this pariah. Come on now, family. This is the tide of war. And you want to know what's going to be affected first here in the United States? Oh, look, they're trying to hit my pockets. Oh, that's okay. They can hit my pockets. But guess what? America's pockets are about to get real hit. First step in war, sanction. Countries going to
Mm.
sanction the US dollar because the US dollar directly supports military aid for that Eastern Mediterranean nation. I'm giving you the geopolitical analysis here. I'm telling you, I can't rock with you. Why? Because I know what I'm doing with for your country is going to indirectly support them, and that could then cause me to get deleted with whatever wicked behind scheme you have. Oh, dollars are going to pull back. So yeah, where do you think those dollars are going to go to? Well, understand what they're going to do within the next. Ooh, how many more weeks? What next 5 weeks? The Kazan summit. Folks are going to pull money. I can't mess with you right here. I can't rock with you right here. Folks are going to pull money. On top of that, you have an interest rate that's going to be cut. That will have a negative impact. And then you're going to have all the nations run into exit. I can't fund this because if they do that to them, then what can they do to me if we ever have a political falling out? Welcome to the multipolarity. It was good for a while to have a pharaoh when the pharaoh had control of his Hebrew subjects. But now Pharaoh's lost control, and now Pharaoh's getting desperate. And this is the desperation of Pharaoh. I'm telling you, this is it.
Mm, mm, mm.
And now everybody that drank that cup of wrath is now spewing it back up because you want to know why? They're spewing it back up in blood. Now they're getting everybody's blood on their hands from East Asia to Europe. This is how this
Mm.
goes. Make no mistake about it, family. This is how it goes. If you want to say or offer anything else, if you don't believe me, go ahead. I have the link on out there. It's pinned to the StreamYard. They done played their hand, they done showed their hand, and now I'm gonna tell you this. Now situation's gonna get quiet. Because you wanna know why? Because people are gonna shut up. because when they shut up, they're going to plot in the background. Okay, yeah, we're done with this. Am I right, brother Mike?
Yeah, because I was looking at the well, it's true, man. You know what? There was this movie. Jamie Foxx played in it. He was like a detective, and this guy, I think his name is Russell Crowe. He was the one he was in jail, but he was deleting people. And one of the, you know what I'm
Law-abiding
talking about?
citizen. Yeah, law-abiding citizen. Yes.
When the judge
Yes.
answered the phone and he threw a signal on the phone, I'm just saying, oh, that's the movie. I'm thinking, it can't happen, but no, and it did what like people saying what's happening over there. I was like, okay, and people going to people going to be more mindful of these cell phones now,
Mm-hmm.
and especially these parents with got kids.
Yep.
uh Bluetooth is about to go. If you got stocks and bonds and Bluetooth, seem like Bluetooth is about to jump up a little bit.
It's about to go through the roof. So on them selfie
Yeah,
sticks. So on
yeah.
them selfie.
Hey, but taking selfies? No, you don't want to be taking no selfie when something blowing up in your face.
You know what though? The saddest thing is true. Look, Neuralink's about to, go up. Man, give me
Yeah.
that implant before I get. Look, I don't know about you. I would think twice about them Google glasses. Oh
Oh yeah.
no, man. But and one of the things, it's not even funny. They got the Iranian ambassador. We haven't even told you this. The Iranian ambassador to Lebanon had one of the devices blow up in his face.
Mm.
Here you have dozens gathered to mourn death of 9-year-old girl in Lebanon.
Wow.
Yeah, this is look. A 9-year-old girl who was among two children killed in the exploding pages attack. The circumstances of her death were not immediately established. Of course, they're not going to say that. This is what's happened. EU's top diplomat condemns pager attack for civilian toll. The European Union's top diplomat has condemned the exploding pager attack for wounding many civilians and expressed concerns about an escalation of conflict in the region. I'm telling you,
Mm.
this 54 minutes ago, I'm showing you, we just clicked on this. They know that this is going to head to an all-out war. And they're trying to figure out what that's going to mean for them. I'm going to tell you this, the EU does not, they don't pick a losing side.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
There
Woo.
was attempts to try to discredit the supersonic missile, or excuse me, the hypersonic missile that was shot from the Houthis.
Mm.
The West can't defeat it. China and Russia have hypersonics, and really so does Iran. Now, whether or not who provided the Houthis with the hypersonic missiles, or they just reversed engineered it and they said, heck, okay, sounds interesting. Here we go. To me, this is now, well, to me, the Houthi strike was the direct correlation of the retaliation that was done to Hezbollah. Because why? Because You have it now from the north and the south. That Eastern Mediterranean nation is literally getting ripped apart from the seams right now. And I wouldn't be surprised that you would have a Turkish force coming down probably by the end of next month, right after
I don't
Kazan.
know. That sounds like next week. Mm.
It could be next week. Look, they could literally roll up into Syria and roll down into the Golan Heights.
Woo.
Ema, I'm going to say this. I would be concerned about your cell phone. Whether or not they use it to weaponize, I don't know. But again, as I had said on this channel many a times, when they start to affect communications, understand warfare is inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't know about you all, but this looks like this was a classic display of that.
Yeah, about all the channels talking about the same thing. This exploding cell phones and things. All these people that's dying. So yeah, it's turning up. Well, it's
This is
turned up now.
Yeah, this is gonna get real ugly, family. It's gonna get real ugly. It's gonna get real fast. I don't know how long they'll try um to say, oh well this is that and that is this. I don't know. I don't know. You can't try to stiff arm a country that you're directly supporting. And unfortunately, people have looked past that hypocrisy. Well, you directly
Mm.
support this country. They just gave them an aid package like what, 2 months ago? I mean, come on. What's the European Union going to do? What are the Brits going to do? Well, the Brits in France, they're going to support them. So that's going to leave a problem. Same with the US. I'm telling you. It
Mm.
is literally 30 days away from this BRICS Plus summit. This new payment system that they're going to employ relatively quickly. I believe that during that time, people are going to be taking their money out. The governments are going to. Because this is not a safe haven. Now, when they start taking out the money, think about this now, right? They got to do that Fed cut because now as the money goes out, the government's going to put money in. And that manipulation tactic, they've been doing it since 2020 on a higher scale. On a higher scale. So we are starting to see a very big escalation here when you are taking out civilians at an indiscriminate level. Can you imagine how bad that is?
Mm.
You're not targeting someone, you're potentially targeting families. Thousands of people have been injured. Thousands of people have been maimed. I'm going to still say hundreds of people are probably in critical condition, if not hundreds of people have already died. I don't think you're ever going to get that number, right? I mean, we didn't get that number with the Palestinians. So, I mean, do you think you're actually going to get a real number here in the West from Western journals or Western outlets? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, I don't even want to quote any of their numbers of, a dozen. No, probably more than that, but it'll never be in English print. It'll never be in German print. It'll never be in French print. Nope. Welcome to War 21st Century. They literally maimed thousands of people. I'm going to tell you this. If I were Lebanon, I would say I would be calling Iran right now. You need to have something. You need to have that payload ready. And also remember, and this is a supposed report. I'm trying to figure this on out as we're going through this. That there was an Iranian diplomat that was left maimed, that was left blinded. And then they say pager explosions were effective for temporarily hindering Hezbollah. Senior researcher says, okay, that's a terrorist attack. Terrorism. I'm sorry. There was no military objective here. During a tour, Lebanon Health Minister Faraz Abiyad told journalists during a tour on hospitals Wednesday morning that many of the wounded sustained eye and arm injuries. They had been blinded and maimed. About 200 of them are in intensive care units. Okay. So folks are still going to, there's going to be dozens of people, probably hundreds of people are still going to succumb to injuries. Or, excuse me, not injuries, but deaths. Earlier Wednesday, that's today, an Iraqi military plane landed in Beirut carrying 15 tons of medicines and medical equipment. Stop sharing that one. Yeah, I'm sorry, family. I can't get too down in the weeds because this channel will get shut off.
Mm, mm. Woo.
I know folks like to see the graphics in the videos. Sorry, not today. Because everything that I saw was very, very graphic.
Mm. I'm just trying to figure out when no cell phone was going off like that. Who turned it off? That explosion should stop. Or was this like a one-time signal thing? Somebody sent out and they just start popping random cell phones. I mean, I don't know. It's just a question I'm pushing out there, man.
Your guess is as good as mine, Mike.
Mm.
Man, don't be having those collectors or telemarketers calling. You can throw your phone away. Ah!
Look at y'all. You all got to smoke signal me or email me.
I don't get. I don't take no phone calls no more.
For safety reasons.
You just whatever you need to say to me, write it down on paper and mail it to me. I don't even want to check no emails anymore.
Mm. No, whoo, this stuff is it's on a whole different level now. This is a whole different level. Now, truthfully, I never would have thought about, cell phone exploding. But when you see all the mechanism in it and how people saying, because I felt it too. The back of my cell phone, it can be, man, that thing be so hot, man, until the warning thing comes up. So I just, open it up, put about, a fan on and it can start to cool down. But man, if somebody is able to get into the cell phone, heat that battery up, and that thing can turn into a personal grenade,
Hmm.
that's a
Let me.
problem.
So this is fair use. Let me go ahead. So understand, family. Let me show you this. I don't think this is that graphic. So it gives you it gives you an effect, or it shows you, right. So let me, before I play this, let me show you. This is a picture. She's in her hijab, and she's covered head to toe. That just shows her devoutness as a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
She is counting change. They're at a grocery store. They're at a grocery store. Um, this is the man, the gentleman that's making the transaction. There's a gentleman right here that is above her. So just on the top of the screen, outside the screen, these are white bags right there. These bags. So he's checking out. He's getting his bag. They're making a transaction in the grocery store. And so yeah, so I want to try to orientate you to the video. Fair use, YouTube, all that other good stuff. So an ad will play. Give me a second. You know how that goes. So enjoy your Adobe. Okay, so here it is. This video contains scenes that some viewers. So there's your warning. So that's the explosion. That's the explosion. So let me bring this on back here. So this is a grocery store. This man was there getting fruits, vegetables, just minding his business. Now look at everyone that's here within the radius. Within the
Uh-huh.
blast radius. You cannot tell me that this is an act of terror. This is, by definition, this is terrorism. You won't hear the US say anything about, denouncing this act of terrorism. You're not going to. So if you don't hear a denunciation of terrorism, what does that tell you? That means that it supports the terrorism. I'm just saying it's a logical conclusion. I don't know. I don't want to have any folks knocking at my door because I'm telling you a logical conclusion. But even the
But
EU condemned this. So let me play this. Dozens wounded after pages detonate in Lebanon, media and security officials say. So this is Lebanon. And remember, they were also having things over in Syria. So here you go.
I'm trying to figure out where did the explosion start at?
In their pockets.
Oh, there was oh.
Yeah, he had like a little, so he had like a little man bag. Let's see, you had like a little strap there. He had his little man purse. They do the man purses on over there. Yeah, there's
Hold
there's
on.
his man bag right there. Look, there's it in the
All
frame.
right.
Man bag. Put your wallet in your cell phone, and it makes it convenient so it's not there on your pocket. Look, I'm just saying, hey, brother Mike,
Hmm.
where I see opportunity is a Kevlar
Oh yes.
purse and purse.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't laugh. Ballistics proof. I shouldn't laugh. Here on Covenant
Hmm.
Awakenings, Pepper Cap.
And truthfully, you cannot leave your phone in the car because if it
No.
explodes inside your car, you the foam inside of your car seats, man, that stuff's so flammable. It is unbelievable.
Look, I'm about to start offering merces. Yo, got Kevlar merces, bulletproof purses.
Mm.
Don't listen. Listen. I'm not playing. Look, I'll figure that on out. We may have to open up the Quest 2 Night Africa store.
Woo.
Talk to Brother Fastnuggle. We're gonna have to open up this Quest 2 Night Africa store and offer some Kevlar and bulletproof merces. Cause this
Oh.
is where we're at. And now think about it. Now here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. With all the school shootings that had happened, people have bulletproof book bags. Remember what happened? What went down in Texas a couple years ago, and the cops literally just did not want to go into the class.
You're talking to a 30-something-year-old brother.
Now this was a I don't know. It was a no. This was like a 20-year-old or something. He went to a school. This is in Texas a few years ago, and the cops didn't want to go into the class, and he ended up deleting a lot of children. It was very horrible.
Oh, I ain't see that one now.
Yeah, and they do offer bulletproof backpacks. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do that. I know they sold those.
I'm telling you. I don't think it's going to be an explosive night. I think they see look. A lot of this stuff now it can be sensationalized because here's the reality of it. Here's the reality, and this is for a rod. Here's the reality of this. If they say that it's capable, if they were to mention that your cell phones have the capacity of doing the same exact thing, then people would literally would not do there would be a panic. It's a
Mm-hmm.
panic maneuver to say that, oh well, yeah, it was just nitrate. How many lithium batteries have exploded on planes? How many cell phones have exploded? It happens. So they're gonna put that on that. Oh, well, we did this and did that. No, 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 they didn't. No, they didn't. Because here's the thing. These folks over there, they're not stupid. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna have their dogs sniff on out the materials. They got dog sniffers. Come on now. Let's put a little bit of some forethought into that. And I'm not saying we're not doing it, and I'm not demeaning anyone, but I'm just saying that is their capacity and what they think is, going to kind of smooth over things. Because when you put just a little bit of thought context behind some things that they have bomb sniffing, dogs. Come on now. They have capabilities to, swab things down. Come on. They're they're actually relatively smart over there in Lebanon and in Syria. Exactly. And lithium batteries are dangerous even by its nature. So you don't have to put any type of nitrate. Like I'm sorry, but for a programming by a such and such, you can kind of flesh out the lies a little bit. You can flesh out the lies. Exactly, brother Garth. Yeah, they do every day at the Port Authority. They swab, they check. So you're telling me that they swab and they check because, certain US citizens stop. Stop. This is a game that they're trying to run on people. And if you are influenced by the fear tactics, then guess what? The greatest thing about fear is that when you're in fear, people don't think. If you're in fear, you don't think, you just react. And you react based off of what people tell you. How do you think they controlled us for 400 years? Because leave these niggers in fear, and there you go. There it is. And they won't want to ask any questions. Now go ahead, be a dumb Negro, and go and vote. What? See, understand they're using the same tactics that they tried to use on us. They're now just duplicated it worldwide. Now, the problem is we see these tactics, we understand these tactics, and now we can talk about these tactics. And then it's, well, wait a second. I I listened to a black person, and he put me on game, and he told me what they do, and that we're getting the same. Look, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. What white folks, Caucasian folks, whatever you want to call them, I'm going to tell you what they loathe and what they hate. What they loathe. I'm being dead serious. What they loathe. They loathe the fact that someone could trick them like they trick us. Bottom line, that is exactly what they hate. You were trying to lie to me like you lied to them. You broke code, Jesse. No, Carl, that's not good. Are you trying to scare me like you scared them? That's not the code. They're breaking the social code amongst themselves. There is a social code. There is an unspoken rule amongst themselves. Yes, there is. Oh my goodness. I don't think I'm really spilling tea on that one. That's just the truth. Come on, Gentiles. You can comment on in here. Nobody's gonna bite your head off. Am I right or am I wrong? See, this goes so much deeper than just what you see in the Middle East. This is a fight that's now going on between them. This is an internal fight. And there will be consequences because why? Because somebody done embarrassed them. Wait, you're not supposed to make us look bad. That's not Eastern Mediterranean nations calculus. Well, who cares? They'll get mad at us. They already know what we're going to do. Whatever. But it's going to be the U.S. that's going to be really holding the L. Yep. Again, as I said, this has far reaching explosive consequences. So I want to go here. So we'll go back to the Merce. Right here, shopping. Literally had all these people in vicinity of projectiles, shrapnel projectiles within the blast radius, a radius that can injure and maim. Look, I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. He was open. He did not get away unscathed. Understand that when your body is in shock and your mind is conducting an analysis of flee or fight, the detonation hit him. He got injured. This didn't take out one person, it took out two, and I'm pretty sure he got injured too. The good thing about his injury, the man at the bottom of the screen, is that he at least had his shoulders that could really block a lot of the projectiles in that trajectory. So he got messed up on his looks like right shoulder, right arm. This man got an upper body wound in the blue shirt. In the light blue shirt, the white light blue shirt, he's down for the count. He sustained a gaping wound injury. And if he didn't get transported to proper medical health, those internal wounds to major organs, he would bleed out. This is a shotgun blast. They pulled a digital Ricky. And there was nothing that they could do about it. Understand how we reached new heights today. This to me, not their September 18th. Yeah, this was their September 11th that they dealt with in Lebanon. Do you think that this, lowers the temperature? Absolutely not. This just shows you the level of danger that we all face up in here. Because that day, loved there were significant changes to loved ones, to livelihood. Everybody there in Lebanon is looking at their phone like, is this thing gonna kill me? Delete me. The psychological impact is unmeasurable. Now, what will the repercussions be? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure somebody used a landline to call the
Mm,
Houthis.
mm,
Brother Mike, did they get that cordless phone, extra cord? You know what I'm talking about, Mike? That cordless phone, extra cord? Well, it's
you
like
ain't
100
joking.
feet cord.
Yep, man. And I'm trying to figure out how people gonna move about now. I mean, how they gonna look at this? It's a source of communication and it's a source of danger all at the
Mm-hmm.
same time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Man, I mean, think about this. Talk about getting fired from your desk.
mm.
That's a
Yeah.
dystopian nightmare. What did they say? Their captivity is going to be a whole lot worse if your cell phone is out of 3 feet of your area. Deadly consequences. Keep your phone with you at all time. If you need to charge it, I'm telling you, family, this is crazy.
Wow.
All right, so understand, we're witnessing what their captivity is about to look like. And it may not just be explosions that you outwardly see. It may be some internal combustions, some internal explosions. Yeah, listen, folks are real shook about their cell phones all over the world.
And they should be. And especially if you on say if you was on an airplane and everybody's cell phone start going off at the same time.
Mm, mm, mm.
Man, please. Oh, you know what? You using your cell phone in your car for GPS.
Mm, 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 mm.
You on the highway doing at least 55. You
Mm.
and some other people, and then some cell phones start blowing up in your face. Can you imagine, man? The implications are near about endless, man.
Because here's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Here's the other, because think about this. This is the collateral damage. This is the collateral damage. You know, she got hit.
Mm.
Ambulances just going everywhere. People trying to figure this on out.
Woo.
At least 150 people. Yeah, right. Hezbollah officials say, I don't believe those numbers. I told you that. I don't believe those numbers. Especially this is coming from independent. That uh, it's from the UK. Nah, man. And these are what these folks are reporting. They're saying that that Eastern Mediterranean nation decided to blow up the pager devices carried by the militia group. Problem is, there are more kids on. There are more people that more than likely had been deleted or maimed. It's just that the deletion or the maiming, right? People haven't reported that yet because chances are their devices got messed up, and with their devices getting messed up, I mean, honestly, what are you gonna do? You're taking a risk. You're literally taking a risk to report something, to show something.
You having your cell phone blown up, and then you got other people in the store seeing this. They go pull out their cell phone, nigga. They go call 911. Man,
Mm-hmm.
please.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. What so what do you think an electrical vehicle is gonna look like? I mean, we saw Leave the World Behind what, 9 months ago? We were
Yeah.
watching that.
Yep.
What do you think?
Mm.
Look, to me, look, them electrical vehicles, those are motorized land driven mortars, explosion devices. That's a real EVIED, electric vehicle improvised explosive device. Sister Chantel, shalom.
Sorry, shalom. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Um,
EVIED. I know
you sounded like you were saying E-I-E-I-O. Um,
that.
what happened? Like,
So you must have you must have not gotten that page on your Skyway pager.
no.
Skyway.
Pager? A what? Who? What? What's that?
All right, let's go back to here, Sister Chantel, so you can be properly briefed on this subject matter, on this content. All right.
That's for real. I only just came in, so I just saw
Here,
something like blow up.
are you watching your screen?
Yes,
Here we
from
go.
the television.
Here's another one. Do you see those? Those explosions. This is a man carrying his Merce right there. Inside his Merce was a pager. That pager detonated, and all three of them were injured. I'm
Oh,
not sure his condition he made. I'm not sure about his condition.
so, hold on. Their pages went off.
Supposedly they're pagers, but the lithium had been triggered.
How?
Supposedly, this is supposedly, it was an Israeli operation. And I say all Israeli operations, just in my opinion, all Israeli operations are supported by the West.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly, this is what's happened. This is the independent Israel decided to blow up the pager devices carried by militia group Hezbollah earlier than planned over fears the operation would be discovered.
But how
U.S.
did they
officials
do
said.
that?
How did they do that? That is the question.
That. How did you do that with their pages they have in their pockets, in their land. How did you do that? See, I
Well,
asked the questions. How did you do that? Well, did you
obviously,
tap into a frequency?
yeah, obviously the telecommunications have been compromised, and in that compromise process, whatever pager they sent that provided that frequency in the data packet payload, it caused the lithium battery to overheat to the point of combustion.
Because the dangerous thing here is that we're just seeing it from a military standpoint. I'm looking at it in terms of not just the military, but that just means that, which we already know, but this is a obvious fact now being shown.
It's being shown
Uh,
they lost
you,
their anonymity. They lost their cover. They look. They
it's not even
exposed
that,
their cap.
Karis.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not even that. What I'm thinking about is the merchants, these companies, these corporate. How did you get hold of these details? Like there are so many other people compromised in this.
Yes, the
That
whole
means you
system
can't
fell.
trust
Nothing.
nobody. You can't trust the telecommunications. You can't trust people. You can't trust BT, British Telecom. You can't trust any of these play. That's what I'm trying to say.
New
The
Horizon
implications are
Studios.
so.
New Horizon
Yeah,
Studios. I have the StreamYard link in the chat. I have the StreamYard link in the chat. If you want to go ahead and come on. Yeah, Lynn Bird was saying, look at the movie The Cell. You know, I don't know. Maybe that was from them them lollipops.
the cell. What's that?
It
That
was a
film sounds
Stephen. It
familiar.
was a Stephen King movie where folks, when they listen to the frequency from the cell phone, then it programs something in their brain, and what was in their brain was like really like some demonic force. It was really interesting. It was pretty. I don't know. It was with
Well, that
Samuel
sounds.
L. Jackson.
That sounds kind of. It's funny how all these old films. Yeah, it's funny how all these old films seem to have more of an effect now. And you can't notice that these films are not readily available like they used to be. Like, for example, like
Yes,
you used to be able to have, there's a lot of things that used to be on Netflix that aren't on Netflix.
Netflix
And it's
anymore.
now
Yep.
on, it's now on Amazon, but it's
Hmm.
not on Amazon Prime. If you want to watch it, you have to pay for it.
Yep.
And I ask, why do you have to pay for these things? Because they don't want you to see, they still want you to pay for it because they're just greedy. But it's like, if you're gonna watch it, like, oh my gosh, they don't. Uh,
So
yeah,
there
conspiracy.
was a cartoon I used to watch when I was like 11 or 12 years old back in the day. I saw it on it was, I think, Peacock. It was Peacock. And the movie and the cartoon, it only had like 2 seasons, but the cartoon was called Exo Squad. And for whatever reason, I loved that cartoon. It was, it was a cartoon that was a um it had an impact on me. I don't even know why. I was always thinking about like they had a Martian and they're in space and things, and I know that that was all fake and programming, but the Exo Squad, they used exosuits. What are we in the age of now? Folks are having exo body armor, things of that nature to do what? To enhance, movement and capabilities. Something that was interesting in that
Iron Man made that
is
cool, didn't they?
something that was in there that I didn't even think about, and it was so innocuous, right? They had they literally had neurolinks to the base of their skulls to integrate with the suits.
I've seen quite a few things that have like a Neuralink in films and TV series and uh,
Hmm.
cartoons or anime as well. And listen, man, I love watching anime because it's like the Japanese will tell you so much. so much more than what than the West would tell you. They tell you so much. They tell you about the technology, they tell you about the spirit realm. Oh, they tell you about the technology in the spirit realm. They just be putting it out there. And because it's just cartoon like, people don't believe. It's like, it's so funny because the Gentiles, they're really weird. They're like, oh, we don't believe what we're not going to believe it because it's on television, but yet still you'll believe a white man was the savior who came from who came out of a black area. So very highly
Well,
hot area. So,
well, remember, this is also a curse on them too, because now their curse is confusion. Because now, this is what's happening. This is a confusion of faces, man.
mhm.
I can't trust my cell
I
phone.
thought the confusion of faces was a cake not turned.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay. Shalom, New Horizon.
Shalom,
Uh,
shalom.
okay.
I'm
Uh,
just going to say this one thing: a cake not turned. Anybody that bakes or does pancakes or cooks would know if you don't turn something over, what happens? It burns.
mhm.
So, what side are they talking about? This is the same kind of stupidness as the, oh, he was olive
Okay.
skinned. Okay, so what color? Which one? Was he green or was he black? A cake not turned. Is it burnt or is it soft and squidgy and white and pale looking? Take your pick.
So New Horizon. Yeah. Go ahead if you
Yeah,
want to introduce
yeah, I've
your
been following this story since it happened, and I went through all the different sites. So there's a Russian guy. He's not Russian. He used to work with the Russians, but he used to work. He used to be a UN inspector. So
hmm
he's got the inside scoop. He got all these informations. I don't know if you ever heard of Scott Rick. Scott
Yes,
Rick.
Scott
Yeah.
Ritter. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you go on his page, you're gonna find some more information. But so what happened was, at first they thought uh, it was they tr- uh, they thought there's two stories going around. They they thought it was they triggered it, right?
hmm
But they did trigger it. But what they did was, okay. Hezbollah used to have cell phones.
hmm
So then they suspected that um, it, the IDF Israel was hacking their phones, listening to their communications, tracking their locations. So they decided to change. They told everybody get rid of the phones, and they ordered the pagers. But I guess as they making the decisions, Israel already know because they listening to their conversations. So when they ordered the pagers through before the pagers could get to them, Israel done put explosive on all the pages, set them up. So like yesterday, all they did was send a message to all the pages, and then they all exploded.
Well, yeah, and that's the story, right? I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
and I addressed that earlier. If you weren't on here earlier,
Okay, I wasn't
I
on yet.
yeah, I addressed that earlier. So you want to know why they want to provide that story? They want to provide that story because if they didn't give you that story, then you would be panicked of your phone.
Right.
Because you would be looking at your phone and you would be seeing that there's technology that can be used to then
Right.
overheat your phone. So they give you that supply chain story, that man in the middle attack of supply chain manipulation. Because all right, well, that's I don't have to really fear that. That's just so
Right.
what you
But
participated in was a psychological operation to diffuse a thought process of a safety issue
right.
that we would all
But
then understand that conclusion.
Didn't we
it,
see
it,
something like that in the Winter
it,
Soldier?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, and that's why I wanted to. That's why I wanted because I heard that too. I've listened to these stories. I've seen all the story. I get it, but understand why they feed you that story because they don't want to have not really us. but they don't want to have them folks on out there in mass chaos running,
Right.
around, going crazy because
Especially,
that was a population control technique, and it was a good one
it's,
because you
it's,
know what, people have picked up on that. Oh well, look, it was a supply chain, and it was this and that. And here's the problem. Yeah, okay, let's just buy that. Let's just buy a supply chain. Okay, so then that means that there's a state-sponsored terrorist that has control of the supply chain mechanisms in Taiwan or in Taiwan. So guess what that means? Well, that gives now free license for China to interdict because why? Because then that creates an issue of Asian supply chains.
right. That's why
You know,
That's why Taiwan already put out a statement.
Eh,
The
well,
the, the, the owner of the company that made the pages said, "Whoa, the pages weren't made over here; they were made in Europe."
well,
It's just that
exactly.
they had the license to use their name,
Eh,
but but it was
exactly, and that's what I'm trying to explain. All this stuff it's plausible, but it's not likely. And I'm going to tell
it's
you,
not
it's
like
highly unlikely
it,
because
it makes
what
it
what
makes
you
sense what you're saying.
what you had was, and the reason that I say that is, what you had was, yeah, there's a simultaneous page that went on out, that went on
Right.
out, and people received. And so they've already shown there's a capability of folks being able to have even digital phones remotely hacked via a
Oh
text
yeah,
or via
yeah,
a
we
phone
know that.
call. So that was already floating on out in the cybersecurity spaces. The problem that they have here is that if they didn't put that story on out that there is a supply chain interdiction, then people would naturally come to the conclusion of, well, if they did that to this phone, then what
Right.
about
No, I
my
understand
phone?
exactly what you're saying.
What about
I'll be
my phone?
afraid.
And then you have mass pandemonium and chaos.
It's it's not even the chaos for them. No one's gonna be buying cell phones. They're gonna lose a lot of money.
No, no, no.
They're
It's
gonna lose a
chaos.
lot of money.
It's chaos because yes, number one, people will lose a lot of money, but then number two, how am I going to communicate with the device? Because why? Because your device right now is your central
That's true.
mechanism
It's
of what?
everything.
Economic activity.
Your device is your life.
Yeah,
It's
Exactly.
as much as it hurts us to say that, but it really is.
it
You
is.
lose once
It is.
upon a time, you lose your phone, you'd be like, "Oh man, I lost the phone." But you lose
Yeah.
your phone now, oh, you're hurt. You feel that pain.
Mhm.
Everything's on there.
Everything's on there. Exactly.
Yep.
If it hadn't been backed up, it hadn't been there. You know what I'm saying? So then you got to understand you you can't allow people to lose comfortability in the system, and that's what the
Yeah.
device offers. And if people then say I'm gonna get rid of this device, or I'm gonna try and do stuff
But
analog, then guess what's gonna
but
happen? Guess what ends up happening? Then
well,
you can't track people.
Hmm.
You
well,
can't
it's getting
GPS coordinate. You can't GPS profile.
it's
You
getting
can't.
crazy. I, it's getting crazy. I have one quick story for you. I don't know if you heard this one yet. You heard about the nuclear war that just almost happened past weekend?
Yeah, yeah. We
I
had
heard
discussed
about
that
that.
yesterday.
About the Russia was, you know, with the Ukraine thing and all that.
Yeah, we discussed that yesterday.
You did? Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh
no,
no,
we did
no.
extensive analysis. We did extensive analysis. Yeah,
Oh, was
yeah.
it on your channel? I was listening to it then. Let me see.
Yeah, we were even
Yeah.
talking about missiles and stuff.
With the missile, with the yeah, with the okay. I'm not. I thought I was on a different channel then. I don't know. I listened to quite a bit. All the
Yeah,
all the all the Israelite channels. I listen to them, so I get confused sometimes.
yeah. When we try to say,
But
that Eastern Mediterranean nation, because this channel is monetized, and I don't want to get shut down.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you the fair warning, but then I gotta
All
put you in
right.
the back.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that, man.
So but I appreciate it. Yeah. I listen to these channels too. I read all these things. I do a
Yeah,
pretty good breakdown and this analysis. And then I talk about what's been happening. And again, look, I'm just giving you all some insight, right, to what is really happening, not just in the geopolitical, but also in the local effects, right? The local effects are, people are going to work and they're looking at their cell phones and they're wondering if
right.
if if something could happen to them. People are shopping around and they have a cell phone in their pocket and they're wondering, oh man, could could what had been weaponized there
People are
in
concerned about their children with cell
exactly
phones.
with cell phones. Yeah, so people are going to school right now. Could their children receive a text that has a signal that then overheats the battery?
Yep.
While the battery, they're going to be looking, and then guess what? Their children are maimed. This is the reality of this warfare that's right now. Because trust and believe, if you've shown the capability, then they're going to reverse the capability because it's not just the capability.
Oh,
The exploitation's already been there, right? So they exploited a vulnerability, and that vulnerability that's been exploited has now been seen by many adversaries, and they will then try
exactly.
to reverse engineer it. And guess what? And it's going to be even worse.
Oh
Do
man.
you know
And
this
it's
is
going to go for all sorts of carriers. Yeah. So now, potentially speaking, the whole United States is potentially
The
in,
threat. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we're in a threat bubble.
do you know this is why I always keep coming back to the films and stuff, yeah, because it's like it's all those I wasn't the generation that was young when Star Trek first came out, but a lot of those kids that were at that age that were watching Star Trek, they were the ones that went on to start they became the geeks and whatever and started creating and inventing all some of these technologies and stuff like that, just trying to whatever, the mobile phones and whatever, everybody wanted that, the tricorder and whatnot. And we're seeing they're trying to push certain technologies and so on and so forth. I know Jacob spoken about that as well, especially with the you know food. But it's funny because it's like with the like I said, that America's propaganda machine is what kept a lot of people, a lot of these nations, I believe, if they wanted to, could have defeated America, but they were kept at bay because of the films and TV series and stuff like that they put out there, and it put kind of like a fear into people that
Yeah.
America's, America's big and bad, they're this and they're that, and it's like, no, America really ain't that. But not only was it that, but you also put in your films certain ideas for technologies, and people are like, is that possible? The same way you had those same young people who are now adults and older today, who were watching Star Trek, who wanted to create those things that, oh, I want to do that. That's so cool. You have those doing that. They've been doing that and they're doing that now. All these Avengers movies and these technologies, even down to Stargate, the movie, the series, all the technology that they would go through the gate and bring back all these technologies and stuff. All these things you've put out for everybody, for the whole world to see. So you've got young people who are probably who are watching it, who are our age, who are in their 30s and 40s, who are designing these things now, and you haven't even got a clue as to what they've created. You just assume that nobody is as smart as you. And it's like, well, actually, these people were doing so much better before you came around and started colonizing and stripping people away from learning and progressing. Where would the world be without you telling them what to do? You go into these lands and you try to keep them and maintain them in a sort of ignorance but when you catch a breeze or a wind of oh, Iran has got or Iraq has got weapons of mass destruction, and they're like, we really don't, and they didn't until you put it in their head, and it's like, you know what, we really do need to do it, because if they're assuming that we're doing it, then we need to make sure that we do it, because something's not right with them. Like,
Hmm.
do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's a suggestive, right? So it's a suggestion. And all that is, it is really the basis of psychological manipulation, right?
Yes.
And here's the thing: for our people, we have been psychologically manipulated for quite a while. For quite a while, that's what's happened. This is why we can go through and we can actually come up and talk about these things and not have it as a fearful discussion, right? So when we don't have it as a fearful discussion and we're able to then create the the understanding of, how did we get here, how do we understand this, how do we interpret it. They didn't want us to really interpret anything because, yeah, as Cammy Nelvis is saying, yeah, it's a paranoia. They wanted us to be paranoid because when you're in paranoia, you can't really think. So if you can't think, you can't analyze. And if you can't analyze, you can't come to a logical discussion or conclusion about things. Here's the most interesting thing about that. Even the Most High says, "Fear not, fear not." Look, in everything that we do, don't have fear. Don't be afraid of it. Because the enemy wants you to be fearful, because the more that you're fearful of something, the more then that you can be controlled, because you're allowing the fear to then override the ability to understand and to deal with the fear. This is why the Most High was very specific of how we move and how we declare and how we work through these particular issues, these particular functions. Now, we've learned that because the Most High has given us that instruction. And now with the Gentiles, it's an opposite. Now they're more in fear. When they had learned, no, we don't need to be in fear because why? We're the masters of our own destiny. We're this, we're that, right? So all of the
Manifest destiny, innit?
exactly. So all of that brainwashing that they had from their, previous generations, it's now falling off because why? Because it's not having the same type of effect that it once had in generations previously. I mean, look, the way that they pulled out of Afghanistan, horrible, right? The way that this economy is going, horrible. The way that the world is seeing the United States, horrible. So now they're beginning to understand that their thought process is not a thought process that's actually conducive to reality. And that's the fearfulness.
It's Isaiah 47. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Remember, they've had our book for 2,000 years. And the Most High is saying, you've had this, you knew it was coming, but you just refuse to believe that what was going to happen is going to happen. Where they are today, even though they knew it was coming. Why did they know it was coming? Look, if they took these books out and they took certain things and removed certain things and reworded certain things and then came up with their own stupid doctrine, they knew it was coming. They knew where this was going to lead. So the Most High is saying, you knew, you had it, but you forgot the end of it. You forgot the latter end of it. We're at the latter end, and they can't even. It's like they're in such a stupor. They're in so much ignorance. They can't even tell from the head to the tail. They don't even know what's what anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and I knew this was going to happen. I started catching up. I started getting the truth back in like 2016, 2017. And then I started writing on Facebook. I used to write like pages, right? Just I used to write a lot about just explaining the whole story until they got caught onto me, and then they just went and hacked everything and erased all my accounts, all my emails, everything. I'm like, what's going on? Who's doing this to me? Not till later I figured out what happened. But then on 2019, that's when I started really waking up, and I started having visions. I see what's about to happen. So, and I was in Miami then. So when I came back up here in 2020, I said, listen, the world is about to get bad. I told everybody that. They didn't believe me. Everything that's happening right now, I told them it was about to happen. And it's about to get even worse. It's going to get bad. I saw what was going to happen. I don't want to say the words to block your channel or whatever, but like everything that's happening, I knew it was going to happen.
Well,
Since 2019. So I came up 2020. I'm like, man, if the world's about to get really, really, really bad, and every day since then,
we've seen the Most High's word being fulfilled, right?
yeah,
And it's been daily, day by day by day by
daily,
day.
yeah,
And now here's the thing. Now we're experiencing major birth pains. This is
yeah.
what's happening. We're experiencing major birth pains.
At
And
least we
this
know what's going on, but they're confused. They don't. They're confused. They don't know what. Nobody got their right mind. There's no leaders. There's no. Everybody's confused.
well, but is that confusion by design? And I would say, yeah, it absolutely is by design because understand, you have to realize when you're in this amount of debt, yeah, things look okay, but to be honest, this is by definition, it is a failed state. If you can't if you can't, arguably take care of your bills, what are you going to do? Another war? And yeah, that's exactly what's going to end up having to happen. So then, you have a country that's already war wearied. It is. The United States is. Don't
Yeah,
believe me? Why do you think that they have recruitment levels at historical lows? Recruitment levels are at historical lows, right? And with that, nobody really wants to be involved in
yeah,
another war. This is why you have a proxy war that's going on with Russia and EU, NATO, basically United States through Ukraine. And all that did, and I explained that in this channel, I said all that's going to do is strengthen Russia's position because the U.S. is going to try and throw everything that they can at this to make it look like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, because they thought that for a couple of years that they could, train the Ukrainians to, to be a premier fighting force in Europe, and they died by the wayside or got deleted by the wayside, and their fighting capacity is over with, and it's over with
That-
so much so that people don't want to even engage. Their Ukrainian citizens don't want to engage. The men are literally running, and they're about to recruit women. I think they've started recruiting women for the front line. So all
um,
able-bodied men
Yeah,
and
they were doing that during just before the summer
yep,
ended.
yep. How that's pretty shameful to the last Ukrainian man and women. That's shameful because then what are you going to start doing next? Then you're going to have to start recruiting kids.
Well, they've been training their children. Do you not remember?
Yeah,
We saw like a few years ago, they were training them up. They knew this was coming.
yeah. So they've literally had an implosion in their population. So they're never coming back. They're never coming back. So whatever is going to end up happening is Ukraine is either going to be um, you know balkanized as either part Polish or in part Russian, right there at the Dnipro River. That's just how it's going to go. So whatever this and this is, it's really a sad thing because it has been an exercise in futility. But at the same time frame in this exercise in futility, Russia has been able to expose the lack of military prowess from the United States. Understand that Houthi hypersonic missile, that was a game changer yesterday.
Mm.
These Iranian proxies now getting messed up. It's all connected. They're going to go in. And when they go on in, it's not that the Mediterranean nation is going in by themselves. No. They were always going to go in with U.S. Special Forces or U.S. regular forces or whomever. That's always been the game plan. They've never done, they never have been able to do this by itself when they even first created that place in 1948. Remember, that was done through Europe and the United States,
Mm.
primarily France, um, the UK,
No,
and
they
the
can, yeah.
right. That was the Balfour Declaration. I mean, the and so people always try to have this, you know, religious dogmatic approach to it, and then they didn't realize no, this has been a man-made um, situation, and now they're realizing that the man-made situation isn't really panning out the way that their forefathers had had tried to imagine it or envision it. So here we are at this time, and now people are trying to figure on out their cell phone situation. People are trying to figure on out the essence of life over the last what 15, 20 years with cell phones. We've had a generation of cell phones,
Yeah.
and you and in a period of less than 48 hours, oh man, everything's going to change. How often do I need to check my cell phone?
How long do you think it's going to be before we hear the first cases in America or even in Europe?
Come on, come on, come on, come on, Sister
Just
Candy.
saying. I'm just
Exactly.
saying. Because that's usually what happens, isn't it? You see it in one
That,
place, just like it was just like with the case that happened in China. We saw it there, and then it was like the first cases of da 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 is you know
what can be targeted to Teslas, to other, lithium based, thing, and that is now the supreme concern. I
That
can't
that
go
one, that's a
anywhere
bomb.
because I'm literally on self drive in a potential lithium based
Oh, sorry.
IED.
No, we can't go back to house phones. Are you crazy? Do you know how many people will be late?
On the landmine.
Yeah, I'm 10 minutes away. Just chill, just chill. Going to a coffee shop. I'll be there soon. There'll be no more of that. People will have to turn up at the correct time.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna have listen. Them extension cords are gonna be coming back. The coil cords are gonna be coming back in
Some
full
kids are
force.
gonna start getting whipped.
Discipline, discipline will be coming
With
back.
the cords comes the discipline. Oh, you thought this was a game? Oh no, no, no. Now I've got the weapon back.
Oh,
It'll be like, I
oh,
remember this. I got this when I was young.
I
I'm going to
got.
spread the love now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, them cords were lethal, man.
Yeah, they were. Oh my goodness.
You
Yes,
didn't want to do PE the next day. You did
Man,
not. You did not want to do PE the next day.
I'm
What is
telling
that on your body? What happened? Nothing. No, something's happened.
listen, let me tell you
We
this.
didn't we
Yeah,
didn't
go
get
ahead.
time out.
No, man. What was I remember when somebody said, I'm gonna put you on a timeout. Was that some timeout? What is that? Or you're grounded. Growing up watching
Yeah.
you guys your comedies and white comedies and stuff, and then the parents be like, you're grounded. I'm like, what the hell's that? What's grounded? What is grounded? I seriously didn't know. Like you ask any West Indian child, they were like, what is that? What's
Nah,
grounded?
I got beat, and then you go to that, you go, and you're in your room just thinking about that beating you just took. Thinking
You
about
just
the
get
things
mad.
Yeah.
Sitting up in your room seething, like,
Yep.
and then they tell you this is gonna hurt me, but more than it's gonna hurt you. Lies,
Yep.
lies.
You're done for the day. You know what I'm saying? You're just done for the day.
Exactly.
And then you wake up. Then when you wake
You
up,
go to sleep. You're so
yeah,
hurt. You go to sleep like you can't do anything else. It's
and
like I think I'm gonna go to sleep. My mind is shutting down because the pain's too
yeah.
much.
And then you wake up a brand new you.
Yeah,
Man, I really needed that. I really needed that spanking.
whoop me
Hallelujah.
straight.
Hallelujah. Then you see your mom, like my grandmother be like, how you doing? I'm doing great.
It's like, nah, I still had a face like thunder. I held on to my just don't
Mm.
talk to me. I'm like, I'm fine.
Nah, I didn't listen. I didn't. It was brand new me.
No, there was no
I would
brand new nothing.
I'd
There
have a
was no
little bit of a sore behind for a few days. I'd have a sore behind for a few
can't
days.
sit
To remind
down, can't do
you.
nothing. No, it's all right.
Yeah.
If I felt bad, I'll make you feel bad. I won't eat. I didn't sleep. I didn't nothing. I
How many?
was mad. I was
Boy,
that child.
how many of us had to pull our pants down and lay on the couch? How many of us had to pull down the drawers, lay on the couch?
Oh, hi, mom.
Oh,
Hi, mom. She's oh.
pull down
I'm telling stories on you,
the
mommy.
Right.
She's in the chat. My mom's in the chat.
That
Y'all
used
know
to
what
make
I'm talking about. Listen. You listen, that spanking was coming when you had to pull them cheeks on out and lay on that couch. All you can do is just bite that pillow. You just grab that couch pillow. Ah,
Oh, but who didn't try to pad up themselves? You try you try wear
you couldn't go
extra
nowhere because you
extra
get
pants and
not
anything.
nope,
It's like
not my
every trick
parents.
in the book has been played and done. It's like there's no fooling. Like no, put it down.
Nope,
Take off all them layers that you think is gonna save you. Matter
the
of fact,
belt,
keep them on. That's just an incentive for me.
the belt,
I felt
the
like I was back
switch,
in Egypt, man.
or or
yeah.
or a little stick. Look, it was what it was. Look, you hear
This,
that
Yeah.
first. You heard that? It wasn't the subsequent spankers. It was always that first crack. Kapow!
yeah.
But where
Make you sing in soprano.
where I'm where I'm from, they have a special whip they made especially for that.
Where you from?
I'm from Haiti, but they have a special
Oh,
two different whips. But there's one that's a little harder. That's the one you don't want. You don't want to get whipped with that one. My grandma used to buy them and hang them up.
Mm,
That one wear out, she'll buy another one.
mm. Nah,
mm,
my mum was she was into crafts. She would use whatever. She'd make it
Okay.
herself. She had to. Like I shouldn't even be saying all this stuff, man. My
yeah.
mum's a saint. No, she's no. She's a different person now. Oh, like goodness, like you, like I tell my kids what I went through, and they'd look at me like, "Grandma did that." Like, yeah, that grandma.
Mm.
And then my daughter said, she said, "Mummy, you must have been naughty." I was like, "About as naughty as you are." She just looked at me.
Mm.
Yeah, that girl is something else.
We, we,
I was not a nice little girl. I was not. I
but
needed it.
but you know what though? You know what though? This is what that generation has missed, and
Yeah.
the generation below us has missed the discipline because it
Mm,
was a real campaign to say, well, you're disciplining your child, and that disciplining is child abuse. You know,
Yeah.
and back in the day, I did some um what is that? Foster parenting classes when I was married.
Okay.
And to become a foster parent just in the event with some things that were going on. And I was told, like, hey, you gotta beat, open palm, hand, things of that nature. So, you know, I would rarely use, a belt or anything else, So it was always kind of the open palm,
Yeah.
but I put that I put
you
I
do that wrestling open palm move.
look, I go to work. I'll go to work on my children. Look, and they didn't get beat like, not look, their parents are beating their kids like every day. Like, dang, that doesn't
Yeah. No.
sound like that doesn't sound like a kid issue. That sounds like a parent issue. You know what I'm saying? When I would discipline my kids, it was like, you know, every once in a while because they understood the consequences. Because I didn't have to like, oh, you this and that, because again, it is if you're expecting the negative, you're going to get a negative result. It really is. If you're and that's what they're looking for because why? Because a lot of the issues that our kids have and they have right now is that they had been parented without the proper um uh what is that word? It's eluding me. But it's the
I
proper
just
attention, right?
education slash discipline.
No, it is education, but it's attention, right? And they've learned
Okay.
negative attention. This is what they were. This is how they learn things. They learn negative. They learn from Disney Channel. They learn from all of these
Yeah.
movies that was primarily them acting a fool, and then our kids would try to act the fool.
Yeah.
And then it was one of those things like, hey, look, you don't do that stuff that you see on Disney Channel.
Hmm.
Look, we
Or
act like
now on
this
Ah,
TikTok.
or
that's a,
exactly
that,
TikTok or
that
YouTube Shorts. You
that's
know,
another thing too. We didn't have that back then.
No,
Well, I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was a kid,
I'm 25.
you 25, then I could be your dad.
she's not 25. I meant Sister Chantel in person. She ain't 25. She lying. She lying
What
to
you
us.
saying? What you
She
trying to
lying.
say?
She lying. No.
You
In
trying to say I'm a
2 days,
crone?
I'm gonna be.
Did you hear that? I've met Sister Chantel. Like
She
what?
lying. She lying. No.
What? Don't
I
believe
could be your
him.
dad. Oh
Okay,
man,
okay, okay. Well, you're
I'm
short.
old enough to be your father.
I'm taller than Karis. Mm-hmm.
You what?
She lying about that too. She lying.
So not. All right, we're about the same height.
Yeah, we are. No, we are. Yeah, no, we are. Sister
Oh
Chantel,
man.
she's tall. She's tall for a female. She's tall for a
I'm,
female.
I'm not that
Oh
tall.
yeah.
Now. I'm only 5 foot. I'm like 5'6".
What do you think? How
That's not
tall
tall.
I is? I'm
Huh?
man, I'm 5'11". What do you think I'm?
Yeah.
I'm not that tall.
Yeah,
That's not bad for a female.
yeah.
I'm 5'9". That's average for a guy.
hmm So yeah, but I mean, getting back to this discussion, look, we're at a perfect time in this generation to where this generation is going to literally, it's going through some, it's gonna get disciplined. It's getting
Yeah.
spanked, and it's getting spanked because it's been having some terrible behavior. We've been saying
Yeah.
this. Their behavior has been terrible. It has been atrocious.
The little ones have got a new name. They're called what? Alphas? Like what?
I don't know. I don't know. Look, they're talking
You
about
call them that, of course
Sigma.
they're gonna be like
They
this.
call they call them some Sigmas. I'm still trying to figure out what the Sigma is. I'm still figuring out what Riz is. I'm like, I have no idea even what my youngest son is talking about. And he's 12 years old. Like, what? I had no idea. But I try to understand what they're saying because I try to say, okay, well, no, no, no. You need to cut that out. You need to cut, yeah, because again, they've lived where their words, they believe their words don't have any consequences. And these consequences are now bearing down on them in a more substantial manner. And it's and all we can say was, and all I can tell my kids when I see them, hey, listen, you have to be aware of this environment, of this circumstance. Now, now, the next time I see my kids, the next time I talk to my kids, the next time I get to hug my kids, I'm like this. Understand this place is getting worse. I have to give them that instruction. And I have to pray for my kids so they know, listen, the Most High has not given you a spirit of fear, but when it goes down, you have been properly instructed of how we have a plan. That's all I do when I see them every other weekend. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry that, I talk about this stuff. I'm that dad. Yes, I am.
I'm that mum.
You have to.
But I'm gonna tell you, when you have folks that have literally their behinds blown off, literally had their behinds blown off. Because think, some people had them cell
People
phones
putting
in
their
their back
phones in
pocket.
the back pocket
Yep,
or in their front pocket. Ooh, people.
the front pocket. Look, they listen. I don't know.
You gonna wish you
I'd rather,
died.
I, I think I'd much rather have it in my back pocket. At least I'll just lay on. I'll be looking like Forrest Gump. Just give me some ice cream. Where did that cell phone hit you? Right in my butt, sir.
Then at
Nah,
least you have a reason to get a BBL. But the front pocket, no, there's no saving that. There's no coming back from that. Just beg for that. People put it in.
Yeah, that front
get one
pocket,
of them
yeah, use that
Kevlar,
thing gonna ruin your life. That,
one of them Kevlar purses you was talking about earlier. Talking about the bulletproof bag.
yeah, listen, I'm really gonna look at that.
I,
Listen, I'm
I
not,
was listening
I'm
when you
talking.
was talking about that earlier.
Listen, no cap. I'm gonna figure out a bulletproof ballistic merce.
Yeah, or do bulletproof phone cases.
Yep,
That's going to be the next thing. Lithium proof
Oh,
phone cases.
that might be the next thing coming out for real.
That will be the next thing. Or maybe this is done deliberately so that they can make more money out of people to
More
come up
money,
with the
yeah.
next thing.
yeah, exactly. Listen,
Supply and demand.
yeah,
Yeah,
listen. I'm gonna have to do like a otter box, ballistic proof
yeah.
otter box. This this will self-contain a blast.
I've got to go.
All right, thank you, Sister
But I
Shiz.
just wanted to say this to all you little hobbits in the chat. Like, oh my gosh, Garth, you're only 5'8". Oof. Don't make me put my heels on, bruh. I'll be like Big Bertha to you, boy. Mm-mm. Anyway, it's been real. It's been nice. Thank you for having me on again, Karis. And
Yeah,
it was
I
nice to talk
appreciate
to
it.
you, New Horizon. And
Same.
Uh, you
yeah,
know, pretty soon it's gonna be a call-in show. There's gonna have to be a 800 number or Can I connect WhatsApp to my landline?
I'm al-
Oh, nah.
I'm always down there
You know what I'm
listening.
You know what I'm saying, man? This is crazy. I should. It's not even anything to really laugh about because if you think
Yeah,
too hard about it, it's gonna make you cry. You know.
yeah.
The new horizon. Any final thoughts? While because I'm about to shut this thing down.
Okay.
Final
Well, it
thoughts.
was nice talking to you guys, and I'm always down here listening to you. So one of these days, I might come up again. If you, hello,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
yeah. But aside from that, just keep praying, keep doing what we're doing. The only last thing is if we can try to. I know we always keep doing this, but try to wake the other guys because there's a lot of people out there that's not awakening.
Well, listen, we don't have to do much awakening when folks realize that their phone could be a potential explosive device. I mean, listen, that's and you're absolutely right. It doesn't mean that we give up. It just means that look, the Most High is really in the midst of this. The Most High is
Right.
really doing that because now think about this: all the comfort and safety that has been here in Babylon, all those comfort levels. Look, I don't know if I
Right.
put my phone to my face and have my face get blown off. I don't know. That's the crazy thing.
You really
This is it. I
I'm,
mean, you know what I'm saying?
I'm
I don't know what else to tell you. What else can be said? You can't
get
say much. You just have to literally show people um over there in the Middle East going through that. And that is that moment that people have to then understand, see it with their eyes, and really internalize this. Because if
it's
it can happen to them
yeah.
over there, then yes, it can happen to us. Absolutely, it can happen to us.
It's just it's still it's surreal. It's like before yesterday. Would you ever think something like that could happen?
I did. I mean, because I understand some things. There's a little
Okay.
bit more things I understand, I know, but I can't share. So yes,
Okay.
could
I
it
mean, I
be
knew they
done?
can hack
Yeah,
it, but
absolutely, absolutely. Did I think that it was going to be done on a massive scale like this? No, no,
okay.
because that is by definition that is terrorism.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is because
Yeah,
not everybody, not everybody they got where like Hezbollah, they got a lot of civilians.
bingo.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that to me, that is the definition. That is the core definition of you know
And
terrorist
but put it like
terrorist
this:
action.
when Hezbollah got those pages, they didn't know okay where they're gonna use all the funds. Where some of them gonna be for their families. I mean, those
Hmm.
pages. You understand what I mean? Where some of them gonna be like gifts or what? They don't know where it
Yeah,
was
there was
going, so they don't know who they were
yeah,
killing for.
exactly. There was literally zero like chain of custody logic in terms of who would actually have them, where they would be on that. So I don't go off of that. It was a use it or lose it moment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mm,
And
yeah.
the fact that honestly you don't have any US officials denouncing any of this,
Oh, not they're gonna get away with it. That's for
sorry.
sure.
That to me, man,
I
this is
know, but
another
that's what
this is a condemnation of the United States. I'm sorry.
I, I mean. The hypocrisy is right there. It's always been in our faces. Come on,
Yeah.
40,000 civilians dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then 300
so
3,000, now it's gonna be 4,000. Look,
no,
um,
I'm talking
it's
about.
it's
I'm talking about down there on the other
oh,
end.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is more than that. Listen, it is more than
It's
that.
it's more
That's
than that. Yeah.
that's what because they build you up to that number. Because if they say, "Hey, it's 150,000 people that died," holy cow!
Yep.
So those numbers are going to continue because remember, there's like a couple hundred, there's like hundreds of thousands that's still missing. that still
Okay.
go missing, right? And so, you
Wow.
know, yeah, they won't tell you all that. We'll just,
That's a that's a massacre, man. That's
it is a massacre, but they won't tell you that. They're not going to show you that massacre. You know how many folks that got massacred there in Greenwood? And they're here
this
where I'm
is
at, just an hour
this,
north of me in Rosewood, right? They're not going to tell you the true numbers because it's horrible. But
what
now,
this
when you actually have people, when they tell you the true numbers, think about this. They're going to now, I'm going to tell you this because we didn't touch on this. With that condemnation, they're going to go to the UN and they're going to condemn this. Next week, they're going to go to the UN, they're going to condemn this. And they're going to ask for punitive actions to be done.
mm. We think the UN gonna do anything?
No, they're not going to do anything. But here's what I believe is going to happen. I believe BRICS is going to do something.
Who?
BRICS, Brazil, Russia, and
Oh yeah,
China,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and South Africa. I believe
Yeah.
so.
That's the only thing that's keeping a balance right now. I mean, God is, yeah, is the one in control, but that's who he's using to keep the balance right now.
Well, yeah.
If it wa-
So understand with BRICS, right? Um, so they just had their security meeting, their BRICS security. So they had a security meeting, I think, like last month or earlier this month, one of those. Now they're having the BRICS Plus Alliance thing in October, the Kazan conference,
okay, yeah, yeah,
monetary conference. That's where really they're going to start to switch on over to another payment system, and that's
right.
outside the United States. Understand that once you control your resources through your payments and things of that nature, then you are able to really be free of any type of monetary repercussion
Sanctions. Yeah,
warfare. Now, at the same time, there's monetary repercussions that comes to this. As I explained earlier, countries can go ahead and say, "Look, no, we're going to pull our reserves. We're going to cash in these T bills because we don't want to facilitate that because if we support that, right? Understand, listen, that Houthi embargo is tearing up that Eastern Mediterranean
yeah,
nation.
yeah, yeah.
That embargo is messing them up. They're not going to tell you how bad they're getting messed up. Their economies collapse. That's why they got to go in. Don't think that they didn't deploy U.S. Forces on over there. Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
It's just whether how they're going to have them and understand the nature of warfare, family, in
Oh,
terms of false
I was
flag.
in the military, so and I was combat. I'm a combat vet, so
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
know warfare.
there's some operations where people come in under false flags all the time.
Oh
All
yeah,
the time. Folks were getting mad because in Ukraine they're like, "Hey, we're actually seeing Chinese folks fighting, Chinese troops in Russia." That's been reported. That they've
mm.
had Chinese troops there,
Down there, yeah.
yeah, fighting in Ukraine under the Russian flag. And guess what? It's the same thing as with Ukraine. They have NATO members fighting under the Ukraine flag. So
Yeah,
understand. So
they said
understand. Yeah, go ahead.
no. I was gonna say they said they're mercenaries, but really you don't know who sent them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who's saying that they're mercenaries? you got,
That's what I'm saying. They're not. They're
says,
saying.
who says? Who says?
From what I heard, like the Chinese, they weren't like they were fighting on the Russian side, but they were fighting like they just went on their own, like they're mercenaries. Like it wasn't the Chinese government that sent them, pretty much.
You
But
know the same thing was happening in World War One before the United States entered World War One. You actually
mm,
had a lot of black pilots that went and flew for the French in World
okay,
War. There's actually I think there's a movie about Yeah. So you had a lot of folks that had piloting experience, African Americans, like African, whatever you want to call it, Hebrew pilots,
Yeah.
and because they were able to really hone their skills because they weren't being trained, here in the United States. So when that happened and the U.S. got involved, they actually commissioned them on over, but they didn't really commission them. They kind of just gave them a rank, and still allowed them to fly. But that's what happened. So what do you think is going to happen now? I mean, look, understand when you're towards the end, of your survivability, you're going to throw out. You're gonna pull. You're not gonna pull any punches. You're gonna throw out all stops.
That's what I'm worried about them nuclear weapons, boy.
And that to me is still a little bit down the road. Now, are we
Yeah.
quickly approaching that moment? Yes, but that's what's going to happen when you have more of a globally aligned contingent, right? Basically, you're going to start to see who has been polarized between the West and the global South. See, that polarization is happening economically, and then from economically, then it's going to happen militarily.
Mm.
So now this is a critical time because that economic globalization or polarity that's happening. It's happening literally at this season right now as we speak. Don't think that folks aren't already coming through with agreements right now as we speak for BRICS, for how they're doing monetary transactions and how they're going to adjust to
Right.
this new system. They're doing that right now. All they're doing in Kazan is, it's just the political pieces, and they formally signed agreements and stuff like that. But understand, family, understand the legwork for that is happening right now, way before the conference starts. They just don't say, "Oh, we're going to work on everything, while we're here." No, they're working on these
Oh yeah,
agreements
I'm pretty
right
sure.
now as it happens. You've been in the military,
I,
you understand how the diplomatic
yeah,
structures work.
that's why they're all traveling here, traveling there. They're working is what they're doing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So they're
yeah,
working when they come together. That's they finalize everything then.
yep,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
So,
they planned it out already. But so we're
yeah,
gonna
so
see how this goes with the whole. I just hope that this thing when it goes down, they don't end up in Africa. So. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I just hope they don't end up going up over there because that's the destination. So
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be my hiding place right there.
Well, the thing is that we'll be surprised how the Most High moves.
Yeah.
That is really how that's gonna how that's gonna pan out, how that's gonna shape up because within 24 hours, literally from the last time I got on here, oh, this thing went down. This is a major, major attack. Naz Yahudi says, "Is that not a crime against humanity?" It is. It actually is. And this is something that look, it's not going to go away. You and
Oh yeah.
and it said, you say not NATO is in Sahel region through Ukraine troops in Mali, and these are all the things that's going to be next week. To me, is going to. This is a major month. It's major, major month. So
And
as I say this, look, how we get out of October, ooh,
I don't know.
exactly. We're gonna make it out of October. It's
We-
just gonna be how it's gonna be, what type of damage has been made.
I told my daughter's mom, man, stock up your place over there. Make sure you got everything you need.
Mm,
If something goes down, I got to get ready. Okay, if I gotta run down and grab you and take, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. And we've been saying this on this channel, on this platform. We have to prepare.
Yeah,
Prepare for literally the worst. Prepare for, you know, I was thinking that actually the night before, I was thinking about, look, I need to make sure I get some maps and I get you to an azimuth and wherever I need to go to,
yeah,
how do I get there? How do I navigate with some things? And it's the truth. How am I gonna if things go down?
yeah,
'Cause I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't want to be on the road if they're targeting electrical vehicles. I wouldn't want to be
yeah.
on the
No,
road.
no, no, no.
If there's some things. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even. I'd have to look at where I'm parking my vehicle. Do I want to have it parked next to, a vehicle that has a lithium based battery, an EV.
Nah, you don't.
So there's a
'Cause-
lot of things that literally just happened, and it's going to be this market that's going to kind of tell us, how things are going. Uh, and this is uh, the most manipulated thing. So gold is still holding at over 2,600 USD, 2,600 USD.
what,
That would
gold?
have been unheard of. That would have been unheard of 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, it's too late. And why invest in it? You don't know what to do right now. I don't know what. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's like
yeah,
why
I
even
don't look.
invest in? You like okay, you invest in it, you might still lose your money.
Yeah, I'm not looking at it as an investment tool. I'm actually looking at it as a tool. Like
Yeah.
ability, because a lot of folks that do that, they are doing some inside trades, based off inside information, right? So folks are going to want to shelter their assets, and I'm not going to give any
Okay.
financial advice on this channel, but
Okay.
what I do say, I use that as a barometer, right? It's not going down. It's going to continue to go up. It's going to go up demonstratively. So,
Okay.
how do we then move? Really by the Most High's grace.
Say again.
I said, really, it's by the Most High's grace that we move.
Yeah, that's why I was. That's why I don't. I've been. I mean, for the longest, I've been looking at different countries in Africa. I was looking at Tanzania. Where else was I looking at?
Well,
Rwanda.
let me tell you, we are Quest to Unite Africa.
Where? What?
Quest to Unite Africa. If you haven't been on this channel that long, if you haven't been subscribed that long, um,
No, not on this one.
okay, so yeah, so there is Quest to Unite Africa. It's a
I'll find it on your channel.
it's a 501c3 nonprofit.
Okay.
So you can support the mission, and that mission is being able to help with critical infrastructure and economic development on the continent. And
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
there has been significant progress made with the mission. So understand that our brothers and sisters on the continent, they see this also. They
They
see this.
what?
Our brothers and sisters on the continent, they see this also.
Okay.
So, this is more of a high level approach of how we approach governments, dignitaries, things of that nature.
Okay.
And so there's other platforms that just do, they do it more at a local village level, and that's okay. Everybody, folks are doing how the Most High leads. But in this approach, there has been high level engagements that have been fruitful. So, understand the Most High is moving in the background. So we'll go from there. But thank you, New Horizon. I'm gonna put you to the back. Hallelujah. I'm gonna go ahead because I gotta shut this on down. I am going to be out and about tomorrow. So I am doing my live stream from the road. So we'll see how things go and how this is and how things are moving. I'm just gonna have to be careful because look, with them EVs, hey, I'm just saying, is are we gonna see some things happen here in the United States? Honestly, I don't know. I can't answer that question. But what I can say is, look, it was always going to get worse before people started to wake up. This isn't going to be a sign of things getting better. This was just going to be the sign of the inevitable. So, in terms of how they're trying to do whatever they're going to try to do, whatever program they're going to try to do, I don't know. But I'm just going to tell you, stay in that word, stay in prayer, and let the Most High lead you. Because now this is getting towards, this is the end game. Not getting towards, this is the end game. So, family, I'll be on here on Friday with Question Night Africa with Sister Shar. Sister Shar and I will be hosting an art of diplomacy workshop that will be in Atlanta, Georgia this Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I will put that information there in the chat. Again, YouTube has hit the cash, or not YouTube, but Cash App. My Cash App has been hit. So if you'd like to support this channel, you could do so with Zelle. And here is the email for that. Yep. So everything is getting shut down. Folks are getting shut down. And all I'm going to say is, hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for this time, because everybody's feeling this time of adversity. This is a time of trial. But the great thing about this trials and the great thing about this adversity is that when you allow the Most High to use you through these trials and use you through these times, you do come out purer than gold. You come out of this fire purer than gold. So that's why I ask, if you aren't able to support, pray for me. Pray for us at Quest Unite Africa. And also pray for our community, our family, our brothers and sisters, all of our people during this time. I didn't even get a chance to show you this video where looked like some federal agents came through at a person's door about a post that was made. Some sort of law enforcement officers. Why is that? Because they're now going to have to shut down the information. And, if that happens, especially on this channel or, other platforms, hallelujah. Because everything is by the Most High's will. That's it. All we need to know is we're getting closer and closer to that moment where the Most High's word is being fulfilled. So with that, family, I'm gonna go ahead leave you with this the promo for the art of diplomacy. And most high willing, I'll see you back on here tomorrow. Again, be safe on out there because listen, we're in some really, really interesting times. So with that, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel.
Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Join Karis Copeland and Shar Selassie at the Art of Diplomacy for an exclusive workshop on mastering negotiation and advocacy. Learn proven strategies to advocate for yourself at home, work, and even in international affairs because your voice matters. Don't miss out. Reserve your spot now and start negotiating your way to success.